computer. Okay. Okay, so we're on chapters 12 and 13. And the first one I think is going to be pretty quick to skim through because I think for the most part, we have a really amazing team full of integrity, and 98% of the topics that came up, I don't think we struggle with as a team. But I just want to go back through just really quickly and just skim kind of, I think the only thing that I've come into, there's been a couple of things. So if you run in the same circle as somebody, so if you sign up one of your friends, the likelihood of running into some of these issues is really common because you are talking to the same people. Same thing with family. This happened with, my sister and I when we first joined and trying to figure out who was going to get my mom and who was going to get my cousin and, things like that. And I had started several months, before. And so it felt unfair that I had talked to everybody, but that's kind of the nature of the business. That's just, I asked her to join me 4 months before and she didn't. I can't force her hand at it, right? But then came this thing where it was like, well, then where do we sign people? And, how do we make it fair? And I think with family, we worked it out the best way that we could. And that was what it was. But when it comes to friendships and things, it's difficult. And so the rule of thumb should be whoever talks to that person first should get that person. We have the one plexus rule, right? And, but they also need to be actively working their business. So I don't know if you read that in here, but one of the things that she said was if you're talking to somebody and you realize that they've been talking to somebody else, you immediately send them back to that person. I have had to do this over and over again. And it is 100% the right thing to do. And I promise you that in your business, if you do the right thing, then you will just be blessed by that. You will not see, one person will not make and break that. And so, but on the other hand, if you find out that they're not working their business, so let's say they say, oh, well, like so-and-so talked to me, but she's not even taking her products anymore, and it's been a year since we've talked, then that's a totally different story. We're not saying, so you're not saying to your team or to your friends or to anybody else, if I say plexus to somebody, they're off limits to you. You have to be actively working with those people. So, keep that in mind, that if you are not good at follow-up, that somebody may come across that person and they may say, oh, well, I talked to Sarah, but it's been 6 months since she reached back out to me. Well, they're going to sign them up and you're going to have missed out on a big opportunity possibly. And so just kind of keep that in mind. But the right thing to do, like I said, if they're actively talking with somebody, is to send them back to that person. Are there any questions on that or any scenarios or anything anybody wants to bring up or talk about?
Just some input. I have some local people on my team. So I've realized that I've friended or people have friended me that have already seen what they were doing, but they've fallen off and they don't, like, they're kind of in and out. So I would personally talk to that ambassador and just say, hey, I'm talking to this person. I know you reached out or you talked to them before. Do you want to start making a paycheck? This is your time. Let's jump on it. Just so I'm not like, ooh, I get a new ambassador, because I want to help my team see that the opportunity is there and I will help them. I'm not just there to steal all of their friends.
What great wisdom, Alexis. Bob Heilig actually talks about this. He calls it tap rooting. He says, I find people. So let's say your level one is Sarah, and you go through all of and reach out to find out as many people as you can sign up through them. Let's say Sarah has a friend named Kara. Well, you're going to go to Kara and see if you can get Kara to work her business. If Kara's not working her business, you're going to go to Kara's ambassador. And if, this is a little bit different than what you're talking about, but basically you're going to start finding the person on your team that wants to work their business. You're going to work it with them. And then you're going to go up the line and say, hey, Kara's working her business. This is an opportunity for you to get a really great paycheck. would you like to get on a 3-way call with us this week? Those kind of things, and trying to get those people to actively work their business. But you're absolutely right. Give them, if they're on your team, give them the benefit of the doubt. Ask them, to help, do this with you. Let's coach them together, and I'll sign them up under you if, we do that. And give them that opportunity. But if they are continuously flaky and they're not answering you, or they're not going to work their business, that's a different story. But yes, I love that. Great wisdom. Anybody else? So don't poach somebody else's client that is just because you're local. They can work with anybody. I mean, I work with people all over the world, and doesn't matter that I'm not local. They can do that too. I do understand that there are some people that are more comfortable with a local ambassador. I would be if I had an upline next to me that could do events with me and things. I would love that. If I had a team that was local, I would love that. But I do understand that, and there may be people that say, well, so-and-so is, doesn't live here, and whatever. They need to have the conversation with that person. That's what she talks about, is that they need to go back to that ambassador and say, hey, Sally, thank you so much for your wisdom and all of that thing, but I've decided that I would really like to have a local ambassador. But they need to make that call, not you, because you need to stay clean, is what she called it, and I really liked that. Follow meeting and event etiquette. One of the things I saw in this was, the just keeping that positive attitude. I thought about this one time on the way back from convention, and we were sitting on the airplane, and convention's big, right? And so, especially, I was flying back to Texas, and so many ambassadors are from Dallas and from the Texas area. So I was on an airplane full of Plexus people, but I was also on an airplane full of non-Plexus people, right? And I could hear in the background over my shoulder the things that they were complaining about convention, or about our products, or about whatever. And I'm glad that it happened, because it really kind of clicked a switch for me, going, man, what if I was a new prospect that I was sitting by them, and I was hearing them talk about these things that they were disappointed with or unhappy with our company. And then I met them, at the coffee shop the next week, and they asked me to join their team. Like, you never know who is sitting next to you that could be your next diamond. So please be careful, whatever you're doing, whether you're at an event or you're on a call or whatever, just be mindful that people are paying attention, they're watching. Even on our business builder calls, our leadership calls are a little bit different, because I ask that be exclusive for people that are really actively building their business, or that want leadership skills. But for our team call, sometimes we have brand new people on there. And if we're pouting about something, or we're, discouraged about something, that's really not a place to vent, because you could be destroying somebody's business before they start it. And we don't know that. And so we always tell you to vent up, go to your upline, vent up, and that's the best place for those things. Don't make stuff up. That, I really don't feel like we have had to do that, but maybe you feel like that. Maybe if you haven't had a quick growing business, maybe it feels like you have to tell people how much money you make, or things like that. I promise you, if you're just honest with people, that you'll have a better result. I really live and die by that with my team and my business. And if somebody asks me where I was today in my business, I'm very honest with them, because I want them to know that this is a business, okay? It's not always glorious, right? And we have ups and downs in our business, but the only way to fail in this business is to give up. And so I chatted with Bree the other day, and we were talking, and I told her, I look at this and go, if I walked away from this tomorrow, you know, I could be missing out on something major. Even if I, you know, I'm not in this situation, but let's say I fell back to, you know, gold points or something. A gold ambassador is a huge place to be for an ambassador. Most people don't even ever make it there. Okay. What is that? Approximately like $1,000 a month, I think. And so give and take, I mean, that alone changed my family's life. Silver changed my family's life. Don't even get me wrong. But, you know, I've watched, there's an Emerald ambassador. She has fallen back from Emerald 3 times and been able to rebuild back to Emerald. What if she had given up the first time? What if she was like, oh, well, I lost my rank, and so, you know, I'm just going to let this fall apart. And I know, and I can tell you that through the hardship times, it crosses my mind, and I'm sure it crosses yours. If you've been in this business for a year or so and you're stuck, or you're feeling stuck, you know, it'll cross your mind at some point. I wonder, you know, what if maybe this just isn't for me? And I'm just here to tell you that that's not true. This business is for everyone, and it's up to you. If your business isn't growing, it's probably because you're not working it the way it should be worked, right? We're going to talk about that in our next chapter. But, you know, if I gave this up, you know, I could lose out on something. What if the next 25 people that I talk to, what if one of those people was a diamond? And I wasted, and I was so worried about, you know, keeping a rank or being disappointed that I didn't keep my rank, that I lost an opportunity to go to the top of this company. You know, it may take me 5, 10, or 15 years to be at the top of this company. But if I keep going and keep building and am a good steward of what God has already given me, I truly believe that I will be at the top of this company. And I believe that for every one of you, that be a good steward of what God has given you. Look at your points in your back office. They are a blessing. Every single one of those people, you have changed a life or helped change a life, and they have changed yours. And I'll take a moment to just publicly thank all of you. You guys, my girls wouldn't have a Christmas if it wasn't for each and every one of you. You know, we didn't have any extra money. And my parents helped us with everything when we were struggling. So, you know, just give yourself a pat on the back and remind yourself that you are not only impacting people below you, but you're impacting the lives of people above you as well. And that's a big deal. But you shouldn't have to make stuff up. That's my point, is that use other people's stories. Talk about, you know, other people's stories, or talk about what it's done for you so far, even if it's small. Now, little things make a huge difference for people. I remember talking to one of our ambassadors who has a heart condition, and she was getting 2 to 4 hours of sleep every night. Mega X allowed her to have 8 hours of sleep. To me, I didn't need extra sleep. It wasn't a big deal for me. But for her, it changed everything for her. So you never know what may be small for you that will completely change someone else's life. So don't hold back on the little things just because you think that they're not important. They are. They really are. Any thoughts on any of that before we move on?
Sorry, I just got out of the shower, guys. I was running late, so I don't have my video on, and I'm self-conscious. So anyway, I started something that is very, very powerful. And honestly, the position I'm in, I have stinking thinking a lot. I am like Ansley. Sometimes I say, woe is me, or, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is going on, blah, 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 blah. I started a gratitude journal, and I write down 5 to 10 things I'm very grateful for every morning. I pray over them. I proclaim them. What a difference in my mindset. And I'm not going to go into major detail. Ansley knows quite a bit of it. probably most of it. I was brought up, and I won't get on this subject very long. Sorry, Ansley.
No, you're fine. Go for it.
I was brought up in a very negative, very bad environment. I was mentally and physically abused. So my stinking thinking was horrible. When I met my husband, I apologized for everything under the sun. Even when I didn't do anything wrong, I was apologizing. I have learned, he says now, you're beautiful. I say, yes, I am. And I cry because being grateful, feeling beautiful from the inside out is huge. And I have come in this 4.5 years, a complete changed person because of this company. So what if I hadn't jumped in? I would still be the same person. So I just encourage you guys to really focus on the many, many, many blessings that God's given you. Be grateful each and every day. If something comes in your head, cancel, and change it into a positive. That's my take on that.
I love that. And if you guys haven't been on this journey as long as I have, but I've known Rhonda for many, many years. And just in the last 3 years that we've been on this journey together, she's a completely different person. And I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
But anyways, yeah, no, I love that. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? How have I not learned to have like tissues in my office yet? Like what is, oh, I do. What's wrong with me? Every time I get on a call, I'm like, woo. Okay. How about this chapter 13? Did you love it? Did it kick you in the butt? The title alone, Your Time is Worth $962 an hour. I hope that gives you chills. I hope that when you go through this challenge that she asked you to complete, that you realize that your time is valuable and that you use it more efficiently. And I know I'm going to. Time is your most valuable resource. So she asked you to get into action. She said, I want you to think about what you want this business to create for you and your family, and then use those numbers to come up with your time hourly worth and when you've got it, write it down. So I haven't written mine down yet, but when she was talking about it, the first number that came into my head was $100,000. I would love to be a diamond someday. That would be amazing. But for my personal family to be comfortable, $100,000 plus my husband's salary, which means Emerald, which also means a free car, which would take a lot of pressure off of my family since we have to buy 2 when we get back to the States. That would be a really comfortable place for us. It wouldn't be buying mansions or, any of those things, but I don't need all that stuff. I just want to be able to say yes to things. I want it when my kids need them, or when I want to give back. I want to just be able to be comfortable in that. I want to be able to go to the grocery store and buy healthy food, because healthy food costs a lot of money. And I don't want to go back to putting junk in my kids or my own body, because that's all I could afford. So that's a number for me. Does anybody else have a quick number? It can be more, it can be less. Don't feel.
So she said shoot big, so I did 300,000, and that makes my time worth $288 per hour. I'm just looking at that, like that would get me completely out of debt. That would just get me ahead, and that's way more than I even need. Like you said, I would be fine with 100,000 a year, like, because right now, what are we sitting at? 35, 40 a year, barely skimming by. So just looking at those numbers, it's just insane.
It is, but it makes you think about your time, right? And how you want to spend it, because if we waste it, then we're wasting whatever that you said, $200 and something an hour that you could be earning. Anybody else have a number?
So she said to shoot big, right? She said shoot big. So I said 500,000.
All right.
and it said that my time was worth $641. And I was like, that would be sweet. So I need to do my time better. Because to be paid $641 an hour, I have to be working and properly working and, doing the hard stuff. This is fun. I love this part. I like the reading. I like getting together. But it was like, oh my gosh, to actually build that, I need to talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yep.
Our business is simple. Like she said, it's not easy, but it's simple. And I've heard that over and over and over again. I just need to get it through my head, So that's my ultimate goal is 500,000, and that's within 5 years is what I want. So
that's awesome. And it's very reachable with this company. So no, go for it. Anybody else have?
Can I say something really fast? Because I was super excited about this. So Wiley and I have to buy a house next year, and we've never looked into that, and we've always wanted to build. And we found a piece of property in the little housing development area that we live in with 2 acres. But it's actually pretty cheap, surprisingly. So we want to buy that and we want to build, and Wiley really wants that. So to actually make that happen, I have to work. So I need to get my tushy in gear. Get over
sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes it takes a physical thing to work towards, and, or not fall away from, I look at my income right now and I think, we're moving and we're, all of these things. And if I don't have that income, we're not in a good spot. And so I can't sit around and do nothing. I have to be actively working my business. Oh, and Alexis said this is based only on 20 hours a week. Think about that too. You do not have to be working 9 to 5.
Mine was 15.
Huh?
Mine was 15 hours.
Okay, so see, you talked about getting your master's and doing something else. That's going to take you a lot more than 15 hours a week, girlfriend, and less money, way less money. So, anyways, anybody else have a number? I love that you guys shot really big. I didn't that's still really big for our family because that kind of money, on my husband's income alone will never happen. But for us, or for me personally, right now where I'm at, I need something tangible. I need something and so I would challenge you not only have that big number, but look at a goal that you can have in the next year, and write that down as well so that you can kind of look at that and go, okay, this is a bite-sized piece of that huge dream that I can work towards right now. Because for me, sometimes when I say I'm going to be a diamond, even though I know I can do that, and it's very possible, and this company allows that to be possible, that terrifies me. And that feels very unreachable. It feels like it's so far in the future. But if I really step back and look at it and go, okay, Ansley, what is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I went 5 ranks in 7 months. Okay. If I can do that, I can get to diamond. Right. But I feel like I need to focus on the next thing. So if I could get my family to a place where we could have, for me, really financial peace, not freedom, but just peace, that would make me feel like what I'm doing for a living, is really, really helping my family. And then we can go for the fluff, the extra, the good, the being able to really give back and do fun things and travel the world and, all of that. But I needed something tangible. So if you are like me, come up with a second number so that you can see that, because I need to see right now, sitting down and working, what is my time worth for my goal that I'm working on.
How many hours a week did you want to work?
I would say 15. I would say that
it'd be 780 hours a year and $128 an hour.
I'm good with $128 an hour. I don't know about y'all, but my last job, I made $28 an hour. So I'd be all right with that.
$100 pay raise.
Huh?
$100 pay raise.
Yeah. I was gonna say that was corporate America, you guys, and I still was stuck in a cubicle for, from 7:45 to 4:45 every single day, and I would not have been. Somebody else would be raising my children. So, and that was in South Florida, so that was kind of on the high end of that position. So, and that's not a lot of income. So, all right. So how are we going to do that? We are going to manage our work schedule, right? So she talked about you must set hours of operation, but she obviously said that strict hours of operation are never going to work, right? She said you're going to work your business when you work your business every day and every week for first 5 years. I even trained on it, but I could never quite get them to work to get anyone to stick to them because they are, what'd she say? I'm not saying that loud. Bull, right? She said that she hasn't had 2 weeks in the row that looked the same. Kids get sick. The water heater floods your house. A rush project in your day job gets dumped in your lap. Every week is different, and even tomorrow may not look like what you planned. So forget hours of operation. So I started this year with hours of operation. My hours of operation are they're really flexible, and they're really more. They're really more for you guys to know. Here's when I guarantee you I'll pick up my phone. They're not solid hours. They're not, if something comes up, I'm going to take care of my family, those kind of things. But for me, I just needed people to know, like, hey, this is the time period that I pick up my kids, so I'm not ignoring you. I'm doing something for my family, or, don't feel like you have to bug me to have a nighttime meeting. Here's the 2 nights a week that I want to make that happen so that you guys know that you're not bothering me. Does that make sense? So even though they're not ever going to be solid, that those were just the best times and days for me so that you knew that if you needed something, you could get a hold of me. But anyways, she just talks about having a calendar, putting everything in one place. I have got, and maybe you guys can tell us what your ways of organizing your life are. I have a physical calendar, but here's the deal. It sits on my desk. And if I am not sitting at my desk, I forget to look at it every day. So I think the best thing for me to do is to get into the habit of putting it into my phone so that I will get an alarm, because I do put, things in there. But I love having a physical calendar, but I really don't. I write it down, but then I forget to go back and look at it. So if I've ever missed a meeting with you or anything like that, it's because it was the weekend and you had a meeting with me on Monday and I hadn't sat down at my desk yet. And so I hadn't looked at it. But it is nice. I like having the paper because I can go back, and go. I think Brianna asked me yesterday, what time was our normal meeting? And I was able to double check and go, oh yeah, we always meet at this time, because I've written it down for the last 6 months. And so I know exactly where it is. So it's nice to have that handwritten thing, but I really think I need to get better about putting it into a phone. Does anybody else have a better idea?
I use my phone.
Yeah. Do you put your little things in there, like your workouts and stuff, like she said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I do, this is mine. Can you see it? No.
Kind of. What is that? Is it an app?
Well, so on my phone, I can put different colors. So for personal stuff, I do blue. For Plexus stuff, I do purple, and so on. So because I have so much going on, and Monica with all of your kids, and when we have husbands or whatever, there's so much more that they have going on. So I put all of that into there so that it's all in one place. And I just started doing that recently and actually using it because my phone reminds me, you know, in 15 minutes you have this. And I've missed appointments because I didn't have them in there, but now I don't usually. Unless I put the wrong time, which I did.
Believe me, I've missed more things that I'm proud of, I promise you. But okay, so coming up with just having a place where you can religiously calendar your thing, that includes your business time. Okay, so she talks about making sure that you have that. She talked about challenging you to get together on Sunday, or whatever. To me, I don't care what day of the week it is, as long as you have kind of a day that you kind of think about these things. And I think that especially, it's also a good day if you struggle with Facebook posting to sit down and do like buffer and things like that, because you can get it done quickly. And usually on Sundays, most of us don't actively work our business on Sundays. And so, because the rest of the world isn't actively working either, and it's just a break time. So that's a good day to be able to sit down for an hour of uninterrupted work. You know, I say I don't work on Sunday, but that doesn't mean that I don't check my messages and I don't, get, my last minute ends tied up or prep my week. It just means that I'm not reaching out on that day. And if it's not an urgent matter, it's not going to get handled. I can push it off till Monday. But she talked about sitting down for 15 minutes with your calendar and map out your coming week. Look at everything that you must do that's already in there, things that are non-negotiable and non-movable. Third, identify pockets of time that you'll devote your own prospecting. Remember, if you don't pay yourself first, your business will not grow. This time is sacred and is not to be used for anything else. Next, mark off when you will be available for 3-way calls and short coaching calls with your team. Let me ask you something, because I think this is something that I fight myself. Is there anything in this business that could come up that you personally feel like you do not have the resources to handle or find on your own without your upline? Anybody have anything you can think of? Okay, so the next time you don't pay yourself first because you're worried about managing your team, I want you to remind yourself that there is nothing that they cannot handle or find resources to handle without you. They can wait 1 more hour. It will be okay. It is hard to get out of that mindset, because I know for me that, I hate the word selfish, but immediately that comes into my mind, and that's a struggle bus for me. And I want my team to know that I am there for them. But I promise you that the people that are actively working their business, that they understand, that they've been exactly where you are and that they understand. Am I going to stop for somebody that's brand new on my team? Of course. But you guys, you feel me, right? You know where I'm going with that. I don't have to beat that. Okay. So that time is not to be used for anything else. Mark off when you'll be available for 3-way calls or short coaching calls, which I'm so excited I'm going to have more time in 5 months. Yay. With your team, finally get your 5-3-2 list ready for Monday. 5 people you're going to reach out to, 3 people you're going to reach back out to, and the 2 team members you'll touch base with. Okay, so that's that. I wanted to talk to you. How many of you have got to listen to the Jill Renfro call from last week, or I think earlier in the week, maybe, that I posted on our team page today? Did anybody?
It was yesterday. It was yesterday, Nancy. It was yesterday.
Did anybody catch it yesterday or today on the team page? Monica, Valerie, Alexis, awesome. Okay. Bree, watch it. It's amazing, and she's hysterical. I've sent you a couple of her videos before. She's so funny. She has these Southernisms that are like my favorite. I don't know where she comes up with them, but they're so funny. But anyway, she talked about negotiables and non-negotiables in her call, and I loved it because, she really put things into perspective. She said, that, team calls, things like that are non-negotiable. She was talking about her teaching. When she was doing teaching, she said, I have to work with kids, right? I have to work Monday through Friday. Like there were things that she had to do, but then there were non-negotiables. Did she have to have, I love how she said, I didn't have to have everything laminated with glitter and polka dots or organized, or whatever. Those were her non-negotiables. That was fluff. Okay. So many times we get caught up in I'm going to get everything into Teamsy, or I'm going to get everything set up, and organized in my office first, or I'm going to clean my house first because clean my office first so that I have a clean space to work, and then I can sit down and work. What happens is we do that so often that we spend that valuable, whatever your number is, $284 an hour and $184 an hour, whatever it is, an hour, doing things that aren't ever going to get you to your $300,000 or $500,000 goal, right? You can make $500,000 a year and have a messy desk. I promise. It'll be okay. And I promise you won't care, okay? You can hire somebody at that point to clean your house, okay? Right? But the non-negotiables are so important. And we talk about this. You can do this business in 15-minute intervals or an hour a day or whatever. And it is 100% the God honest truth. But you still have to make that time. And if you're sitting there saying, if you're not doing it because you've got something else going on, you're always putting it on the back burner, you're never going to reach the goals that you want to reach. She also said something else that was really funny. She said a ton of things, and I just loved all of it. But my other favorite thing was she was talking about how that the plate was full. She said, sometimes people tell me that their plate is full. And she said, girl, go get yourself a bigger plate. Have you ever heard of Golden Corral? She said, this is a buffet, okay? And I just thought it was so funny because it's true. She said, we can all make up excuses as to why we can't make time for this. She gets up at 5:45 every morning as a Diamond Ambassador, and works her business. And I slept in today. And so I was like, oh man, she is speaking to me. I need to get up earlier. I am not a morning person. I would stay up. Y'all know, you see me on Facebook Messenger. I'll stay up till 2 a.m, but don't ask me to wake up before 7. Okay. Anyway, so she talked about doing that, checking with your husband and getting things together. Right. You'll commit to this Sunday night, 15 minutes on Sunday night and 5 minutes every evening. Commit to the system for 1 month, and I promise you'll feel like you're proactively running your business instead of reacting to it. How many of you feel like right now you're reacting to your business? Yeah. Okay. So what's your stop doing list? You guys know what a stop doing list is? I want to know, what are you going to stop doing?
Oh my goodness, there's so much that I need to stop doing.
Just give me one.
Scrolling Facebook, because that's a huge one for me.
Okay. I'm going to stop sleeping in. I am going to try to get up earlier and just have more time.
Me too. I used to lay back down after I tucked my husband out the door or kicked him out the door, because I have to get up at 6 every morning and pack his lunch. So what I've been doing is then as soon as he leaves by 7 o'clock, then I'm either listening to a motivational podcast, I'm doing my gratitude journal, I'm doing something for me for an hour. And what a difference, what I've already shared, what a difference in my day and how it starts.
It's awesome. Anybody else have something they're going to stop doing? So Rhonda, you've already stopped doing that. What's your next stop doing? I'm sure we all have multiple.
Get my IPA in earlier. Okay. So then my day doesn't get away from me. I have a tendency to let everything else around me get in the way, and I've got to focus on that first. After I do that, have my slim, obviously, my breakfast, and then I'm going to do my IPA.
I love that. You know, you emailed me this morning about that leads program, and it forced me to sit down in my desk because I wanted to answer you. Forced me to sit down at my desk kind of first thing, and because it was quiet and I wasn't rushed yet, I was able to get all of my emails done and all of my messages out, and I was done in like 15 minutes. And I was like, oh man, you know, this is why I do things earlier. And so you helped me today, and I appreciate that. And it's definitely a good habit to do your IPA first, 'cause then you feel like you're accomplished. It didn't matter what else I did today. I felt like I did at least what I had to do, right? And the other stuff is extra, those negotiables, and so it makes you feel like you were proactive in your business. What you got, girl?
So I am going to stop binge watching Hawaii Five-0.
Woo! All right. That's going to give you some time.
It's awful, but it's so, I know. I don't know. With everything that's been going on in my head, it's so nice to be able to just escape. That's how I feel. That's why I watch it, because there's so much to do. Like I have a huge to-do list, and that to-do list keeps getting bigger, and it's like I just can't deal with it. So I get overwhelmed, and it's like if I just sit here and I watch this, then I can deal with what's going on in their lives, then I can judge what's going on in their life, but I can't, deal with what is going on here. So instead of being afraid to deal with that, I want to take the next step to deal with it, because that's the only way I'm going to get through to the next anything in my life at all. So that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. Love it.
I would love to hear from Val and Monica. I mean, I haven't heard either of you guys speak today.
We're waiting. What are you going to stop doing?
Mine is basically what everybody else has said. Scrolling is a big thing for me. And I've been doing what Rhonda said. So basically that's pretty much my scrolling is my big thing. I get on there to check on people or to send a message to someone, and I get sidetracked so easily. That's probably my biggest waste of time every single day.
Me too. And I enjoy it. That's the bad part. My husband says, what on earth? He said, we're just on there an hour ago. What on earth could have changed so much in 1 hour that you need another hour of Facebook scrolling? I'm like, you have no idea how much can change. And I love it.
Separating the two.
Yeah.
That's my hardest thing, is separating the two, because when I get on, it's usually because there's somebody I thought of I want to check on for whatever reason, and then I get sidetracked. That's the hardest part for me.
I find that the easiest way to separate that is to be in a space of business. So I have to sit at my desk. If I'm going to be working, I like to work in my office. People can work wherever you want to work. Obviously, that's the great thing about this business. But I find if I do that, and if I put 5 people's names on a list, or whoever it is that I want to check on a list, because I can't tell you how many times, like even today I was going through emails and somebody's name reminded me of somebody else I needed to contact, but I didn't write it down at that moment. And so then I was like, oh man, who did I need to contact at the end? If you'll stick a sticky note on your computer or on your phone or whatever, however you're working, and get 5 people, and go to those people and get them out of the way, you'll feel better about the other things. But I try to stay in my messenger if I can when I'm doing IPA, and even if other people's messages pop up in the meantime, I don't until I finish my IPA, I don't go answer those messages, because I will get sidetracked and I will get stuck in a long conversation and then I didn't get it done.
I liked the timer idea, where she said to do a timer just for business, like the 5 to 10 minutes. She even said just 5 minutes. because then you can send out all those messages in 5 minutes, and then, and then you can scroll after you've done that. I don't have that problem, so I don't know how that feels, because it's so much easier to not scroll. Like I actually did catch myself yesterday. I scrolled for an hour and I was like, what the heck just happened? How did that happen? And it's like you don't even notice that time is gone that fast. So
Yeah.
I do understand to a degree, but I don't get the enjoyment that you guys get. I do with Hawaii Five-O because he's hot. I'm just kidding.
But mine is like, I'm scrolling through something, and that takes me to a video, and that video reminds me of something I need to look up on the internet, and so then I go spend an hour on the internet to do that, and then it's a rabbit hole. It's a hot mess. All right,
And then
Monica.
5 hours has gone by.
Yes.
And then where did your day go?
My husband asked me if I did any laundry yesterday, and I said, no. No, I did a whole lot of nothing yesterday. I did not get accomplished what I needed to accomplish yesterday. Yeah, and today was half doing nothing, and then I did get my IPA and stuff out of the way, so that was good. But then I started cleaning my bedroom, but not until like the end of the day, and now I'm like gonna spend my whole evening doing that when I could be spending it with my kids. So I'm gonna get better about that. I'm gonna get back on a schedule. I used to write a schedule, you guys. Pinterest, another place for you to scroll, is a great place though to find like schedules. I used to have a house cleaning schedule, which was so great. And so I would do one chore every day. I would always do a load of laundry because that is always a mountain. And another reason why I don't want more clothes in my house, because if I could just have less clothes, I wouldn't have as much laundry to do because they'd have to wear the things that are in the closet. Anyways, there's a cleaning schedule, and so it'd be like Mondays you do the baseboards, Tuesdays you do the counters, whatever. And so obviously there was everyday cleaning that you do, but it would just be one thing so that you didn't have to go deep clean your house every Saturday, And so if you're looking for a schedule to help you with something, that's a good place to look.
Monica,
come on, girl.
What do you want from me?
One thing you're going to give up.
Everything falling apart in my house that I have to deal with every day. That would be nice. Seriously, here, I moved into this house that has a pool. Magical. I did not grow up with a pool. My kids don't know what it's like, but they will next house because I'm not doing it again. We had a guy here in a wetsuit on Monday. He had to get in and find the leak. Then I had my husband's brand new car, yesterday. Where did I go? I don't know. And I got home. I went and had my feet done. Yay, blessing, hello, loved it. Came home, parked the car, shift into park, and the button for it popped right out. So I went to have that fixed this morning. I was up and awake, and my 10-year-old came with me, and we were doing things, and we came home, and we were just killing people when we walked in the door because we've been up since 7. I'm not sleeping in anymore either. That is exactly, it's just like a truck hit you when you get up, go to the bathroom, whatever, which is the only reason I get up, and then come lay back down. Okay, husband, see you. I'm just going to lay here. No, it's the TV. It is for sure the TV. I get the scrolling Facebook, but I do that while I'm watching TV.
Okay, so you're going to make more time for your business by giving up some TV time.
For sure.
Okay.
Mhm.
let's stay accountable, Maconica. Oh my gosh.
Cannibal? What?
Monica. Oh my God.
All right, so we're running past time, of course, but coaching calls. I'm going to get better at this because I am a talker. What you got? Wait, you're muted.
I wrote all of her stuff down. That this is what she sends to her people, and they have to fill it out before.
Awesome. So you're going to fill that out before next week, right?
Yep, and we're actually going to stay on task.
But here's the problem. I like you guys. I want to know about your life. I don't have to, I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, it's important to me that part of our conversation when we have coaching calls is me getting to know you better, because I don't ever want any of you to feel like you're a number to me. It is important to me that I know what's going on in your life, because I can't expect you to work this business the way that I'm working it. If you've got, like Alexis, surgery, you know, or something coming up, we need to know, you know, what that is. So I will probably never have 15-minute coaching calls in my lifetime, but I would like to make them more productive. And I can do that. So she talked about doing these 15-minute power shots. And again, I don't know how you make those feel personable. I've been on the receiving end of a call like that, and it doesn't feel good to me. It feels like I had homework and I'm almost being reprimanded for something, and that's hard for me. It's just not the way I work. But I understand the value of what she's saying, and if it works for you and your team, go for it. 30 minutes, I could handle. Let me, get 10 minutes of checking in with you and see how you're doing, and then we'll get to working. That's
what I was thinking. Same thing.
Your time is valuable too, and that's important. And some weeks are better than others, and it just is what it is. But here was the big part though that I really love, but is hard. She said, she's a stickler. She said, where are they? Builder is a no-show without notice, and there's no emergency. We table the sessions until she's ready to treat this like a business and respect my time. I cannot tell you how many coaching calls I have scheduled around during the time that my children need me, that people haven't shown up to. And it makes me feel really bad, because I want to help all of you. It's not you guys, but I want to help all of you. But my time is valuable. That's my time with my family, because I am overseas and I don't have the same time zone as you guys, but I always come to a meeting with ready to prepare something. And that took time too. So whether it's a business call or, a team meeting or whatever, remember that your leaders make time out of their day for you. So show up, or at least tell them you're not going to show up. Or if they don't reach out to at least 15 new people a week for more than 2 sessions, we put coaching on hold until she's ready to commit to the time to talk to enough folks to grow. I think 15 new people is more than a fair number. That means that they worked their business 3 days that week. If you're not doing that, this isn't the business for you, okay? And that's hard, but it is true. She said, am I tough on this? Yes, I am, but I know my time is worth something, and it has to be all in to get my time. And you will understand as you get a bigger business that the more people you have on your team, the less time you have to talk to people. Someday I'm going to have to figure out 15-minute calls, because I have enough people now that are actively working their business that I would need 15-minute calls if I was talking to all of those people. I don't talk to everybody every week, and that's why I'm able to do an hour call with most people. But I need to get better at talking to more of my teammates more often with less time. So if you don't have a coaching call with me and you'd like to have one, please send me a message and we'll schedule one. Okay. Okay, because if they're not all in, and this is the thing, is that everybody, not just on this call, but everybody on our team has to understand that if you want this one-on-one really important time with your upline, then you have to be willing to put in the work. If you're not, we're not trying to be offensive to you. We love you just the same, but there are so many resources out there that you can use that are not taking time away from the people that need it. Because if you're in this for a hobby, or if you just haven't decided to really put in the effort right now, then you're taking valuable time away from somebody else that maybe, could use it. And so that's what she says. If they're not all in, I know our company and general team training and resources provide more than enough for them to meet their goals. Hope you'll understand the virtues of being a hard ass too. I really struggle with that. I just do. It's an insecurity of mine. I feel like when I first started this business, I was really good at that, and I stepped on some toes, and I'm learning now that, and so then I went the complete opposite, and I pleased everyone everywhere. And I'm just here to tell you that that's not the way to work your business. When I watched Jill today on that team call, y'all, she's a hard ass. She's hysterical. And she, you know, obviously loves people and loves on her team, but she's got goals. And she is not afraid to talk about those. And you can tell she spends her time with the people that use her time most valuable. And so when you look at that time and you go, okay, I'm worth, what was it, Alexis? How much are you worth an hour? Wait, you're muted. Say it again.
$284.
You're worth $284 an hour, Alexis. So who are you going to give your $284 to today? Okay? Because that's what you're doing, right? You know, what you could either be making $284 or you could be not making $284, right? And so we have to be okay with the fact that not everybody's going to mesh with you, number one. Number two, not everybody is going to run this business as a business. I will never force anyone to run this business as a business. I won't. I think you can do it as a hobby if you want hobby income, but the people that we're focused on in these kind of meetings are the people that want a business. And so if they're not ready to do that, point them in the right direction of other things. Okay? And be okay with that yourself. Okay? You got to get to a secure place. I struggle with it because I want everybody to love me as a leader, and I want everybody to like me. That's a really hard thing for me. But reality is, in order to grow the income that I want to grow for my family and to be able to change the world, right? I have to be okay with running my business as a business. And that means that I'm going to have to make tough calls and give tough love. And the people that aren't receptive to the tough love are someday going to fall off my team anyways. Okay? I love all of you. But if you don't love my tough love and you don't work your business, someday you're not going to be here. And that sucks because I want every one of you at the top of this company. But we have to give our time to the people that are willing to do that. That doesn't mean that they're willing to do it right this second. But you're coaching them. That's the point, is that you're coaching them. So don't let them make excuses every single week, and it's not doing any help to them or to you. All right, moving on. Working with your body, not against it. Recognize your biorhythms and work with them. When's the best time for you to work? When do you like to work? If you're not, honestly, I would rather work at night. But it doesn't work with my family. But that's my biorhythm. I would rather stay up at night and work. I used to love doing 10 o'clock meetings with you guys. I like being, when my husband was on night shift, it was just a good time for me. Kids were, 8:30, 9 o'clock, because the kids were in bed. It was quiet in my house. And I'm just not a morning person. I need to get in the habit of being a morning person so that I can work those hours. So recognize when's the best time for you to work your business. Personal touch does not have to be in person. So you guys know that. We do these meetings. I feel like you're in the same room with me. I don't ever feel like I'm disconnected from you guys. I hope you don't feel that way either with your team. Would I love to have all of you at a sip and see at my house? Yes. But someday we will hopefully have big enough teams individually that we'll get to do those fun things. Don't get distracted. Here are a few of her tips. Check your email that you use for business only 3 times a day. Whatever it is, it can wait for a few hours. Check Facebook or Instagram no more than 3 times a day. Okay, that is a huge. Jill said that there's an app on her phone that detects the amount of screen time that she uses on her phone. I don't want to know. Y'all, I don't want to know. I know I spend more time with my phone than I do with my children. That's sad. It's true. It's not funny. It's so sad. I really do. And it makes me feel very bad.
Yours are away, so that's why that's funny to me. Mine are with me 24/7. So if I was on the phone that much, it would be a nightmare.
I mean, they're here, but they're not like, I don't spend quality time with them. That's what I mean. I spend more quality time with my phone and my Facebook friends and you guys than I do with my children. I told them, as soon as I get off this meeting, we're going to play one board game before I go back to my housekeeping duties, because I don't sit down with them enough. I'm not a hands-on mom. I won't say that I feel guilty about that. I don't think I'll ever be a hands-on mom. I love them to pieces, but I'd rather cook them a healthy meal or, you know, do something for them than to like sit on the floor and play Barbies. But I'm going to play a board game today. So unless you're doing some type of social media campaign that requires you to respond in real time, you're not going to miss critical things in a few hours. When you do get on social media, set a timer for your phone for 5 or 10 minutes. When it goes off, you get off and get back on the other crucial aspects of your business. If you post something that you want to get your algorithms up and you want to spend a few minutes with people, like I didn't do this, but I could have. Yesterday I posted about Christmas gifts ideas for the kids. And the first few people I responded to right away. And then I had other things to do. So I had to get off and I could get back on later and respond. If you want to have your algorithms boosted, you can spend 5 or 10 minutes engaging in conversations with those people and actively doing that, but then get off. Okay? Get off. When is the time to do your personal prospecting? When it is time to do your personal prospecting, close all programs and apps that aren't required for your call. That way you can focus on the call that you're making and immediately go to the next call without getting distracted. Turn off notifications. When I am not actively on email or social media, I don't want to be distracted by notifications. I know myself, and the temptation is just too great for me to take a look. So sometimes I have to turn off all notifications. I reached out to Bridget Ryan, who is a mom of 7, I believe, right? And in the first year that I was in Plexus at convention, I found her and we chatted. And I said, "What do you do to be able to do this business with all of those kids," right? And she said she puts her phone away. She said, "If I go to dinner with my family, I put my phone in the glove box because I cannot keep away from those distractions." And I had to do that. I have had to shut my phone off. When I went on our trip, I literally deleted the Facebook Messenger app because I know myself. And I knew that I was going to post a few things on Facebook every day, or one thing. And so I wanted to be able to have that. But I knew that if I saw the Dare to Be Diamond thread popping up with people that needed things, that I would want to be there with you guys, because I have, what is that called? FOMO, like fear of missing out. I love you guys. It's like you guys are my lifeline. So, but sometimes you just have to turn it off or delete an app or do something so that you can put your phone in airplane mode, you guys. If you put your phone in airplane mode, then you aren't going to be getting messages on a regular basis. Because here's what you can do. You can still send messages while you are in airplane mode. They won't go through until you take it off of airplane mode, but they don't disappear. So you could go and send all the messages that you need to send in airplane mode, which means nothing else is coming in, and then turn it back on. And then they'll all go out, and then you'll have time, right? Multiply your time. I'm not talking about multitasking, which becomes a bit of a badge of honor, blah, 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 blah. She just said I don't remember this part. Somebody help me out. I know she talked about multitasking. She said she was doing something while she was on the treadmill, but I'm trying to remember.
It was like talking to people, doing three-way calls while you're driving, the getting into action, the multipliers that you can implement. She reads or checks emails or Facebook while she's doing homework with her kids. So like if your kids are coloring or something like that, you could, do that unless you were
How is
trying
that
to engage
different
with
than
them.
multitasking?
But that's a really good question.
I messed up. I'll go back and read it, but she said it's not the same as multitasking, but I feel like she said if you're doing two activities at once, unless one of them is automatic, like folding laundry or walking, then you're never really fully in the zone for either of them. And if you're trying to juggle three or more things at once, forget about it. I feel like it's the same thing, but maybe I'm wrong. But I get what she's saying. She's saying
Multipliers is about doing one thing that satisfies multiple goals instead of doing multiple activities at once. So multitasking is multiple activities, where multipliers is satisfying multiple goals.
Got it. Okay. She also likes to group activities together. According to many studies, moving back and forth between several tasks probably takes us longer finish up than it would to finish each one separately. So put your uninterrupted focus on each task that requires a specific mindset, and once you get in a groove, stay there until you're finished. This is why I schedule three-way calls back-to-back, coaching calls back-to-back, answer emails all at once, and dedicate chunks of time to personal prospecting. Are you clustering similar activities together on your schedule? If not, I challenge you to get into the habit of doing so you can avoid the little time suckers that come in every time you have to switch back and forth between tasks. Okay. Those were awesome chapters. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry we ran over again, but like I said, I like to know you. But I always appreciate your time. Thank you for dedicating an hour with me and your other teammates, and thank you for just being here. And y'all, we are almost done. Like, I'm so impressed. We're getting in the groove of book studies, and I'm so proud of us. Are you? So this will be at 14. That's it. Is this our last chapter?
14, 15, and then there's 16, and then some extra.
I missed it. 14 and 15
That's
weeks. Okay. All right, so we have 2 weeks left. All right, so we got to start thinking about what we're doing next. We're doing a leadership book next. So, yay. Unless you guys feel like you prefer we need another network marketing book. We had originally said we were going to go back and forth. So y'all think about that and let me know next week. Just a few things before we jump off of here. December 1st, we're starting the Joyome Challenge. It's a 10-day challenge. If you don't have anybody in it, at least consider jumping on it. It's on my team page. I think it's on Rhonda's team page as well. What I'm doing is offering the 10-day trial packs for $20 and $5 shipping. So they're paying $25 instead of $27 plus shipping at retail. And if they're local, just $20 because I don't have to pay for shipping. So, but these have been lowered in price if you didn't know that. And so you have 10 packs in each one, and then they can try Joyome for 10 days and maybe even longer if they spread it out a little bit. So, but it's a great way to look at a online event and see what it's all about and learn about Joyome if you don't know about Joyome enough already for yourself. I think that's our only event going on right now. Anybody else have anything? What's that?
For next month.
I can't hear you. Say it again.
Did you get Super Silver?
Oh, yes.
Super Silver. Did you guys? Oh, okay. Yeah, so Super Silver is going on if you haven't already gotten there. Val, you're pretty close, so I want to help you push for that. And you and my mom are both really close, so maybe we can get you guys together and do that. So let's make it happen. Woo woo.
Woo, that's exciting, you guys. All right. Well, I'll see y'all next week. I love you all.